are returning to the moon. A grand adventure back to the lunar surface to build a moon base, and to do so for all of its scientific, its economic potential, and to master the skills for where we will inevitably go next.
The Artemis era continues this afternoon. NASA has revealed the team of astronauts who will lead Artemis 3. The mission poised to be another giant step for humankind's return to the moon. This mission will stress test all the technical details like piloting, docking, and operations. So who better to talk about Artemis 3 than Jim Bridenstine? He's the CEO of Quantum Space and former NASA administrator who oversaw the creation of the Artemis program during your tenure. Jim, thanks for coming on. First off, what's your initial reaction to the reveal? We have an Italian astronaut in Artemis 2. We had a Canadian. Does that maybe give us a sign we'll have another international astronaut joining the Americans for Artemis 4?
Oh, absolutely. It's an international program. We have to remember that when we think about the Artemis program, it is designed to be a tool of diplomacy. And so when you think about that Orion crew capsule, it has a service module where all of the storables are stored, things like fuel and oxygen and other capabilities. That European service module, that's where the propulsion comes from. And that's of course built by Europe. So they are major partners in the Artemis program, and having of course an Italian astronaut is perfectly predictable and expected. And it's also true that this is a very experienced Italian astronaut. He has flown 2 different missions to the International Space Station already, and he'll be the pilot on this one.
Truly incredible to think about how the world is connected through this singular mission, and with these rockets taking off on U.S. soil. This team, no doubt, they have some big shoes to fill after Artemis 1 and Artemis 2. But tell me a little bit more about what goes into selecting some of these astronauts. It's my understanding that one of them, it's their first trip up into space. So that's a pretty big feat.
That's right. Andre Douglas is the youngest astronaut. He's 40 years old. He's from the Coast Guard. He's also, an experienced pilot himself. But of course, everybody has a first time to fly in space. He's highly qualified, and we're excited about seeing him fly and be part of this amazing crew. Frank Rubio is somebody I got to know when I was at the head of NASA very well. He's 40, I think he's 49 years old, but he has the record for the longest flight in space at 371 days. So he's quite experienced himself. And Randy Bresnik is a Top Gun pilot. He's a Marine Corps fighter pilot. And at one point in his life, he was on orbit on the International Space Station, and he had his wife delivered a baby while he was on the International Space Station. So these are very experienced American astronauts, a very experienced Italian astronaut, and 1 rookie. So we're really excited about this crew.
Yeah, I mean, they already seem to have so much chemistry on the stage between the Artemis 3 and the Artemis 2 crew. So it's really exciting to watch this next step. But you yourself, after your tenure at NASA, you now lead Quantum Space, a company that builds spacecrafts, and you guys are working on a new model. How is Ranger changing the way we look at space exploration and even business? Because with the Artemis 3 mission, they are interacting with SpaceX and Blue Origin. So there is a lot of connection between these private and government agencies.
Yeah, so just what you heard the NASA administrator talk about, he said that we're going to build a moon base, which is super exciting. We want to go to the surface of the moon. Well, one of the things you need to do to build a moon base is characterize where the water ice is. Where do we want to go on the surface of the moon where we can use the resources to live and work for long periods of time? Quantum Space is a company that's building the Ranger spacecraft, and we actually have a contract to go to low lunar orbit and characterize the water ice in low lunar orbit. So we're a spacecraft that's built for national security and defense. It's a spacecraft for high energy orbits like medium Earth orbit, geostationary orbit, even cislunar space, and in this particular case, low lunar orbit. But we're designed for national security, but that doesn't mean we can't serve other purposes. And we're excited to help characterize the water ice on the moon as we go forward and build a moon base.
Yeah, I mean, water, at least in my minimal understanding that I have of the space exploration, it's huge, and it's what we are looking for to build this base on the moon for
That's
humans to head out there. So, really
That's right.
incredible stuff.
So on the Weather Channel, you want to talk about weather, and water is in fact weather. It's interesting. When I was the NASA administrator, we learned that new water is being created on the moon all the time. If you go back to 2009, people thought there was no water on the moon at all. They thought it was bone dry. But now we know that not only is there hundreds of millions of tons, at least, of water ice, especially on the south pole of the moon, but it's also all over the surface in very small, minute amounts. But lots of pure water ice on the south pole and on the north pole of the moon. Water ice represents life support. If you crack water into hydrogen and oxygen, you've got the oxygen to breathe, you've got the hydrogen for fuel, and you've got H2O, which of course is water to drink. So all of that is available on the moon. The regolith itself, the dirt of the moon, is also a tremendous resource. Remember, there's a lot of radiation on the moon. The particles from the sun are coming at high speeds, subatomic charged particles that can be damaging to the human condition. So we're going to use that regolith to build capability to shield the astronauts from the radiation of deep space. And we're going to learn how to live and work on the moon for long periods of time using the resources of the moon. So it's really an amazing opportunity for this country. All of America should be proud that we're going to do this, and it's an exciting time.
Yeah, over the last couple of years, I'm sure so many young children and young adults inspired to join in on this space race and future space exploration, but you yourself have been paving the way. So Jim Bridenstine, CEO of Quantum Space and former NASA administrator, thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you.